What's up, everybody? Just setting up here, trying to figure out this new setup. Looks like I'm gonna have to draw sideways. Or is it this way? How's it going? I'm on the road. Yeah, that's uncomfortable. Hope everybody's well. It's gonna be a slightly different stream today. Let me see if does this angle work better? I'm on the road, so I'm in a hotel. This is actually better. But my arm is gonna be covering some of the drawing. Hope everybody's doing well. I don't think I'm gonna have any Discord on today. So no Sean or Jerry. Sean, if he shows up, will probably be in chat. Yeah. I don't even know if the quality is good enough. Let's see here. Still trying to figure out this setup. Let me try something else. This would be completely upside down, right? What's up, J Dang? How you doing? K-pop junkie, Vodendor. Can you guys hear me? D Rogers. Yeah, this is upside down. Taiwan is good. Let me see if I did it this way. Oh, okay. All right. Now I just need to figure out how to keep this okay, I think I might have figured out the setup, the rig. Okay, here we go. I brought a webcam, but it doesn't seem to be working. And I had tried another program that would allow me to stream, but I would need a separate iPhone, but still no go with the Discord. So let me know if you guys can hear me loud and clear. Okay, great. Looks like all right. Took a few minutes, figured it out. Not that bad. So today I'm just gonna do some commission catch-up. This is a Booster Gold sketch. This is just gonna be a pencil sketch. I already started this a while ago, but just due to deadlines and work and everything else, I started, stopped, so hopefully today I'll be able to kind of wrap this up. And then I'm gonna do a Salic, so I have a sketch cover. And then hopefully in time, lunch will be here. Agnes Slam, how are you doing? So D Rogers is right. I am in Taiwan. Racer GRX, what's up, Racer GRX? How you doing? Somebody, it's either Racer GRX or Hey Bobby K. Maybe it's Hey Bobby K. You guys might need to send me your address. DM me your address again. So I am on the road. I'm in Taiwan. I'm in a quarantine hotel. I'll still be here in the hotel for a couple of more days. Greetings from Melbourne. Hello, Crispy Papa. How are you doing? So right now it is 11:30 in the morning. It's 11:30 in the evening. I'm assuming on the East Coast time for you East Coasters. This is a sketch from a while ago. Actually, I think this was started this last year, and it's gone through a couple of different versions, poses. Thank you so much for the resub, Mr. Joshua. Thank you so much for the resub, D. Rogers. 20 months, Mr. Joshua. 21 months, D. Rogers. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks for your support. So Jay Dang, it's Taiwan now is, I'm back here to see my mom. Also have some business. It was 10 days, it was 14 days, and then it moved down to 10 days, and now it's at 7. So I had supposed to be in Taiwan a week earlier, but then I had a visa mix-up, and so it delayed my trip. And actually, fortunately, it worked out that had I left earlier, I would still be under a 10-day quarantine. Although I'd be out by now. But because I was delayed a week, the government during that time changed it to 7 days in a hotel quarantine. And then you have what they call a 7-day self-health maintenance, where you can you don't have to be in the hotel quarantine. You can, have your own. I rented an Airbnb, and you can kind of walk around. If you have work, you can go to work, but you can't go eat at restaurants. You can't go into large gatherings. There is a comic book convention here in Taipei. I'm going to be missing that because that is going to be under the 7-day self-health. So I won't be able to appear at that, but hopefully I'll be able to get somebody to sit in my place. Then I'm doing kind of an exhibit at a burger shop, and also performing, doing a mural for them. Kevin P. West, I will not be in Motor City Comic Con this weekend. It's going on right now, I believe. I already see some posts from some comic book friends. I think Mike McCone is there, Jimmy Palmiotti. Motor City Comic Con has always been a pretty cool show. I've been there twice. I believe my next show outside of this Taiwan show will be probably San Diego, but still waiting to hear back about maybe another appearance before that. We have a couple of people, Kevin P. West, K-Pop Junkie, you guys are all in the Michigan area. So right now the COVID cases are skyrocketing in Taiwan. They're just beginning to open up. Hopefully there'll be some kind of plateau soon. but they for the most part during the pandemic they were able to keep the numbers low. Infection numbers very low. However, it was also because it was very difficult to come back into the country for a foreigner. Technically, I'm a foreign national, even though I grew up here. I was born in Canada, and so I never obtained a Taiwan Republic of China passport. So Kevin P. West, your son's going to Comic-Con. Well, D. Rogers, he's going to Motor City. D. Rogers, so far I'm not going stir crazy. It's not that bad. I've only been in quarantine for, this is the 5th day. Technically, the first day you land counts as day 0. You have to stay in 7 days. So it's really like 8 nights. Because even though the 7th day is the 16th, you can't leave until the day after, which is technically the 8th day. But so far, I mean, I finished an issue. I had a deadline this week. So I was able to finish the next issue of Monkey Prince. And then just been catching up on a little bit of sleep. And now today, after I do this sketch and another sketch, I'm going to start on layouts, and I have another side project going on that I need to get going. Need to basically start. So it's not so much stir crazy. It's pretty much the same lifestyle I would have at home. Especially during a deadline crunch, usually the last week and a half or so, right before a deadline, I don't leave the house, and might not even go outside to get the mail, and basically wake up, go to work, or wake up, get some coffee, make some food, clean up, shower up, and then go up to the studio and start working. And I'm there pretty much the entire day, until which point I work to the point of exhaustion, and then I go to sleep, or maybe like I take a meal break. So that is typically the last week and a half of a month. Kaylee Athena, how are you doing? So right now it's 11:36 in the morning here in Taipei. The sun's coming out. It was raining earlier this morning. It rains a lot. It's a tropical country. I think it's gonna rain almost every day that I'm here. I hope I'm getting this Booster Gold outfit correct. I believe this is the blue part, which tends to have a different shading texture. Then the gold is the chest and the legs are a little bit more metallic. So I kind of want to reflect that. I'm just going to be, I don't know if I should ink this piece. Maybe I ink it, I don't know. I mean, I've been owing this piece for quite a while now, a few months, and this commission piece, the guy's been very patient waiting for it. Again, I try not to tackle any commission pieces outside of a show, but I've been working on this, holding on to this for so long, I just need to get it done. 8:30, yeah, so you're on the west, D. Rogers is central, mountain or Pacific, where you're at. Hey, Long Wu, how you doing? Surprise Long Wu today. He wasn't able to, this is an impromptu Friday evening. I'm figuring Some of you guys might be home chillaxing on a Friday night. I was trying to stream a couple nights ago, but again, I was just under deadlines, and then I was trying to figure out that I had downloaded an app called Switcher, which would allow me to stream from my iPad. Right now I'm using my iPhone, but I was hoping with the Switcher app I could patch in a second camera and also use audio, get Discord audio so you guys can hear Sean and Jerry. I was able to connect the second camera, but I don't know if anybody you guys know how to use Switcher, but I couldn't figure out how to do the Discord as a secondary audio channel. And I had brought a webcam, but on Switcher I guess you can only use iPhones as a secondary camera. I brought one of my Logitechs, so. Oh, Lone Wolf's playing D&D. Nice. Okay. We'll keep talking about it. One of these days, hopefully, we'll be able to play D&D on here as well. I think Booster has a thing on his hand, right? Like some kind of like pack. Maybe I'll ink this. So I think he's Booster Gold is like a character that's kind of like very boastful, right? So I was thinking he's like kind of popping his collar a little bit, and always looking a little cocky. Warforged Monk from Overwatch. Any new news these days from chat? You guys, how's life? So quarantine life, I figured I did get a lot of work done. There's not a lot of distractions. I was able to. The only distraction really was some slight jet lag from the travel. It took about 30 plus hours to get to Taiwan from LA. As D. Rogers knows, I tend to fly only American Airlines or their affiliate partner airlines, and there is no direct flight to Taipei or Taiwan from LA via the One World Alliance, or One World. And so I had to fly into Tokyo, which is normally, I used to do that all the time. But the flights have been extremely limited, the number of flights from LA into Tokyo. And specifically, I had to fly into Haneda to come into Songshan, which is, there are two airports in Taipei. Now, the larger one is the Taoyuan, which is the newer international airport. But that's about 45 minutes outside of the main city. Most people fly into that airport. Songshan is the older airport that's in the middle of Taipei. I actually prefer that because once you get out of customs, you're right there in the city already. And but in order to come to Songshan, I have to fly into Haneda, which I actually like better than Narita. Oops. I don't know if I can switch off the autofocus on the camera. I tend to notice that it's readjusting focus a lot, so I'll try to keep it still. Hope it's not bothering people. But anyways, I guess one of the things I geek out on is this trying to game the aviation industry, or get the maximize the travel experience. So, hey, yo, Jimbo, how you doing? The Sapphire Lounge in Japan looked pretty cool. Yeah, so usually there's two lounges in Haneda for Japan Airlines. There's actually a third one, but it's closed right now, the Cafe Air. So because you're One World partner, you can access any One World lounge when you travel. And international travel, you really reap a lot of the benefits. But there's a Sakura lounge, which is the business class. And then there's a first class lounge for Japan Airlines. The Sakura lounge, because of COVID, is closed, so they only have one lounge available, which is the first class lounge. And everything in there is free, complimentary. So you have a menu, it's free, sushi, get ramen noodles, you can get, what else? Rice. They have Japan Airlines is famous for their curry rice dish. And then also, of course, free alcohol. And the best part too, when you're traveling, is like, you take a shower. They give you usually like a 20-minute window to take a shower. So you bring a change of clothes, and that really makes a tremendous difference, especially on long haul trips. I used to never think, I used to be like, whatever, who wants to take a shower at the airport? But man, it just makes the whole experience completely de-stresses the experience. So the only thing was there was a 16-hour layover in Haneda. It was an overnight layover, and again, because of COVID, the airport lounge was not open 24 hours. It used to be. It closed at 1:30 in the morning. That my flight wasn't until 8 something the next day, so I had to go back out into the concourse, and I stayed up the entire night and banged out a page and a half in the concourse, and it was relatively empty. All the stores and shops were closed, and there were only a few passengers, I guess, waiting. Yeah, international lounges are way better. The American Airlines, you can have, they have the Admirals Club, domestic, when you're traveling domestic in the U.S. Admirals Club does not compare at all to any of these international lounges. I mean, some of them in the major airports, you can take a shower, but the food options, it's like night and day. So if any of you are traveling at the same time, I can bring an extra guest into a lounge with me. So we happen to be on the same flight. And you never know. I mean, last week I was in Seattle for a day, and on the way back, I was texting a buddy that was also in Seattle. And lo and behold, I bumped into him at the airport, and we were on the same flight. So. Yes, so the Admirals, the American Airlines, they do have a flagship lounge, and those are the best ones. Yeah, the flagship lounges are excellent. They have one in LAX too, so if you travel internationally, you can buy an economy ticket, but based on your status, you can access the first class lounge. And that one in LAX, go to the one in New York once, but it was still during COVID, so it didn't have all the amenities. But the one in LAX, the flagship lounge, yeah, there's it's a buffet bar, and then every every night there's like a different food, fresh food option. Like one time I went, they made pho on the spot. Another time they had flatbread, so it was pretty decent. Yeah, and the alcohol selection is like excellent. But we should talk more comics than travel. I think I watch more travel YouTubes now, than I do like comics related YouTube. And then who knew? I would say like maybe like a few years ago, I never watched hardly any YouTube. And now primary that's like my primary go to is YouTube, Twitch, while I'm working, I have in the background. Um, a lot of it is just educational or opinionated stuff. That's right. I should have texted Jay Dang too in Seattle. I didn't even think I was there for. It was an impromptu trip. Basically, had to run an errand, and ran the errand, and then went to the hotel. Worked in the hotel. I stayed downtown again because of deadlines. Um, I took a break to get something to eat at the fish market. It was because it was just a couple blocks away. Um, and then went back to the hotel, took a nap, got back up in the middle of the night and worked. So it hasn't been I was looking at food options, but I reluctantly went to the fish market only because I figured it was right there and I wanted to get something kind of quick and fresh to eat. Um, but yeah, Jay Dang's right there. Ding Tai Fung, yeah. Well, next week, I mean, right now, once I get out of the quarantine hotel here in Taiwan, my Airbnb is right next to the original Ding Tai Fung. So I was telling Jerry, we stayed near where I'm staying at now. Last time Jerry and I came to Taiwan, and basically just had Ding Tai Fung almost every day. Um, okay, all right, I think I got this pretty much mapped out. Let's go in there with some inks. Pretty confident I can pull this out. Usually I like to start with the head. And usually with the eyebrow. This is to me, the most difficult part. I mean, if I F this up, then that's it. Some people start in different parts of the face. But yeah, for me, it's like I gotta get the eyes and the face right. And then I can do anything else, it just becomes kind of a breeze. I've noticed I've been drawing eyebrows very similarly, and I think I need to push myself to come up with a couple different variances on eyebrows for characters. Either they all tend to be kind of thick and bushy. Is game 6 right now? Warriors versus Grizzlies. What's the score? I should have it on the background. Yeah, and how many? I heard there's like a bunch of Ting Typhoons in Seattle, right? Oh, my vision is going. I noticed the last couple of weeks when I'm drawing, I'm seeing almost double vision now at this length. It's not good. I was up earlier today to watch the Celtics and Bucks, and then of course my Miami Heat won yesterday. So, okay, Longwoo, take care. Thanks for stopping by. Good to see you guys again. An interesting part about Taiwan is that the garbage trucks that come around in the morning to pick up the garbage, sometimes it's in the afternoon, they play music like the ice cream trucks in the US. So you might hear like this song outside and you're like, oh, this ice cream truck. But it's actually really the garbage truck. And another interesting thing is the cops drive around with their lights blaring all the time. So some of you might know or some of you might not know, I grew up in Taiwan, even though I was born in Canada. My parents moved back to Taiwan before I turned 1. So I was really only in Montreal for less than a year. You know, I don't remember any of that. And we moved to Taiwan, and my father was a professor of chemistry. I got a job at a university just outside of Taipei. It's like a small town, kind of out in the suburbs of Taipei, if you can call it. I don't know if they would consider it Taipei area. You'd have to take a bus or a train to get out. And I still remember it's very rural. It's very much like the farmlands outside of this small university village, university town. One time we had a family, like kind of a family feast or something, and my mother had to go to like a local farmer. I remember walking with her to the local farmer to pick out a duck. A duck or a chicken? I don't know. And but the day of the feast, my mother got sick. And so I was tasked with leading my uncle through this like farmland area. And lo and behold, I remembered where it was, and we ended up getting the chicken after all, or the duck, maybe. It was a duck. I think that was like my first major accomplishment as a kid that I can remember. Was remembering direction. Kind of funny, the things that you remember. Currently in the third quarter, Memphis 66, Golden State 69. Is Ja Morant playing, or is he still out? He's out, right? He's out for the series. But they've been doing well even when he's out. They actually have a slightly better record, or something like that. Man, I wish I could show you guys issue 5 of Monkey Prince. One of my favorites so far. 4 just came out a couple week ago or so. We are right under the gun in terms of the deadline. But 5, I really enjoyed drawing 5. Also, in part, I'm going to be working. Marcello is back on the book, or Marcello's on the book, not necessarily back on the book, but working with Marcello again. And man, that guy is a master storyteller. We've been working together for, I don't know how many years, 8 years maybe, 7 years. Just have a nice groove. Jaws out rest of the playoffs. Do you guys remember what was something that you can remember that you did as a kid that kind of built a little confidence, I guess? I mean, I always remember that moment because they were trying to figure out. I don't remember why my mother was how she was just sick that she couldn't leave the house, and there was a period of time where she had some kind of illness. I should ask her. And my uncles were over, my uncles and aunts, and they lived in Taipei, so they didn't know the countryside, and somehow I think I might have volunteered and said, hey, I remember how to get to this place. By the way, before I forget, is the video coming out clear or is it kind of blurry? Because I'm running, again, the camera's the iPhone, but I'm also watching the iPad to read the chat. D. Rogers would ride your bike, pick up the papers from the newspaper building. Wow, so you were a paper delivery boy. Yeah. Oof. Get back, D. Rogers. I tried doing that for like a week. Because you gotta get up so early. Like a lot of the kids in the neighborhood, that was like their first job was a newspaper delivery boy. Oh, Jerry's here. What's up, Jerry? Yeah, I tried being a newspaper delivery boy. I think I lasted maybe a week or two, not that long. You gotta get up I mean, nowadays it's not that bad for me in terms of the time, but back then it was like, oof. So you have to ride your bike to the newspaper, pick it up. Yojimbo, these days newspapers are delivered by adults looking to make extra money. Really? I haven't seen a newspaper outside of some of those free flyers or whatever. I mean, I subscribe to the LA Times, but only as a digital. Jerry, how come you're not out tonight? That's right. So, D. Rogers, you would just ride by your bike and throw and chuck the newspapers, or how would that? I mean, growing up in Indiana too, I remember we'd ride our bikes a lot. But yeah, I guess now it's all older people. It's a legitimate job. Jerry probably went out and came back. That's true. Jerry, food update I had. They sent bibimbap last night. Korean bibimbap. There's a Korean restaurant. So the quarantine hotel, again, you have to stay in a quarantine. Now it's 7 days. Part of the whatever you're paying for, you have to pay for the hotel. You can have the option of where they would prepare for you 3 meals a day. And I've now decreased that 3 meals to only 2 because it's just too much. Normally at home I don't eat 3 meals a day. And it's pretty good food. I mean, although some of it is cafeteria style, but what they do is I guess they source it from local restaurants to help the businesses, local businesses. And I noticed that there was a Korean restaurant nearby. I'm hoping there's a eel rice Japanese restaurant nearby. I hope they order from that one of these nights. Lunch should be coming any minute now. I should be getting a text on my phone saying that lunch is delivered to the door. The Rogers were delivered to 3 bars. One bar had a poster with a woman sitting in the bar stool with no pants on. Nice. Nice. Those were the days. The route was actually in the town square, so it was like walking route. Oh, okay. Jerry, did you look at the NFL schedule that was released? Do the Jets have a favorable schedule? Do they play the Rams and or the Chargers in LA? I think sometimes like inking I can get too stiff. You know, with the pencils, there's always still like a slight energy because it's a looseness. But when you're inking, maybe I should speed up the inks a little bit. You know, you can tend to sometimes be almost too careful. And then that leads to a, you know, kind of stiffness, I think. Or staleness with the line. That a lot of times I think pencils have this particular energy. You know, with the inks you're like afraid to mess up, right? So you could be a little bit more hesitant or trying to be too precise with the line. Whereas when you're penciling, there's always a sense that, you know, if I mess up, I can always just erase. So especially for commission sketches, I try to remind myself, like, you know, you want to look good, but you also want it to have particular energy and have some fun with it. And to keep up a particular level of excitement with the line work. Seahawks play the Broncos week 1. Oh, that is a good. That's Russell Wilson. Right? Are they playing in in Denver, or are they playing in Seattle? I actually really enjoyed, you know, walking to the fish market and walking downtown. There weren't a lot of people downtown in Seattle when I was there. There was a lot of people by the market. Or that the market was at least fairly busy. And I was thinking about going to the Starbucks roastery. I contemplated it, but I just said I'm there to run my errand. I'm not there to be a tourist, and I need to, whatever extra time I have, I need to spend that on my deadline. So that's probably some of the times I've regretted in the past traveling to different places, but then constantly being under deadline and not really being able to enjoy it. So I really push myself to at least get to walk around a little bit, because you never know. A lot of times in the past, you used to think, "Yeah, I'll get back here. Next time I come out, I'll take some time." And my new motto out of this pandemic is really just, if you're there, try to take as much to be in the moment. You never know when the next time is going to be. Detroit is on Hard Knocks this year. Wow. All right, Jerry. See you later. Enjoy the rest of the night. Have fun at work. Hopefully next week's Battle of the Sketches is any Star Wars character. So I'll try to jump in on that, or also maybe do the Chewbacca Han Solo one. Yeah, the last 2 weeks have just been hell. Yeah, the roastery, I think, from my understanding, there's a lot of also independent restaurants attached to it or something. So there are like good food options available, and there was a restaurant that I looked up that was trying to remember. Laotian restaurant. I thought that looked kind of pretty good. And then a buddy of mine was like, "Oh, you need to go to the Un Bueno sandwich shop." But the Un Bueno sandwich shop looked like it was too far from downtown. I mean, I didn't have a car. I just took a lift from the airport. How should I? Typically, there's a 6-pack. But this first one, I'm gonna have probably gonna have his stomach come in, so you won't see the whole thing. This hip area will probably be in shadow. Yeah, and they have 2 locations, but they both were kind of seemed like it was far from downtown. Or I did like the Lyft Uber calculation, and it would have been like, on top of the cost of the sandwich, like $80 round trip. So I'm like, I'm not gonna pay $80 for a sandwich, you know. I mean, I guess technically it could be a business expense, but it seemed kind of excessive. And I was just, again, looking at the time. And then there was another one, like a pork belly restaurant downtown, pork belly something. And it seemed like they had similar style of sandwiches, but it was a chain, right? But then again, I was just on a low carb low carb diet. So I ended up going to like this sushi restaurant just outside of the fish market. Air, what's up, Air? Oh yeah, I guess. I didn't think about that. Uber, you mean Uber Eats in the Seattle to get the sandwich shop? I can Uber Eats in Taiwan at the hotel. Um, they have Uber Eats and another thing called Panda something, which is like their food delivery um, app. And so yeah, you can as long as it's within a reasonable hour, you can order stuff and they can just deliver it to your hotel room. Um, oh, if the food comes out, I'll put it under here. You guys can see what my lunch is gonna be. I wonder. It's a mystery every day. You don't really get a choice. I mean, the only option was that I had opted for a vegetarian, mostly oh. Did my stream stop? Matthew Crossard, hey, what's up, man? Thank you for the sub. 21 months. Thank you so much, Matthew. Shutter Duck, how you doing? Well, the sushi was, I think it still came out to like 40 something bucks for 2 orders of sushi. I mean, it was a sushi roll and a sashimi assortment, which is still kind of pricey. But fewer carbs because of the sashimi. I mean, yeah, sashimi. But I was a little disappointed. There's a ton of 7-Elevens out here in Taiwan. But in Asia, 7-Elevens are extremely popular. So Taiwan is, they have 7-Eleven, they have another Watson's, or is another, but like on my block, I look outside my balcony and there's a 7-Eleven right across the street, and then another block, 2 blocks down, there's another 7-Eleven. And there's not a lot of supermarkets. There are supermarkets, but not a lot. So a lot of people, like, they get their food, not like necessarily groceries, but you know, they pick up like a sandwich or something, or. But there's also like these restaurants that just make kind of almost like fast food options, but it's super cheap and the food is like amazing. The one thing about Taiwan is that the food is almost, I've never had a bad meal in Taiwan, pretty much. And it's always like extremely reasonably priced, if not underpriced. Although there are restaurants that are very expensive. But for the most part, you can get an excellent meal for next to nothing. My video on my iPad seems to have stopped. Are you guys still getting this? Mystery lunchbox, yeah. So I chose the vegetarian option, but it's a slightly vegetarian option where I've still had meats, but they try to fill up like sometimes it's been a like a cafeteria kind of tray thing where, you know, you get like a couple compartments of food. Oh, by the way, this pen is a Micron 005, and why is this battery going low? Hold on a sec. iPhone's saying that the battery is low. Huh, it's plugged in. So, oh, another interesting thing about the 7-Elevens here is that they have like a eBay kind of thing where you can buy stuff, but instead of mailing it to you, they ship it to the nearest 7-Eleven, and you go in there and you pick it up, right? So I guess they use the delivery system. I still haven't figured this out, but I'm assuming they use like the delivery system for the 7-Elevens where they're delivering food as also like a pseudo mail delivery system. If anybody knows the actual answer, they can. But I think that's the case. Yeah, so they have like these lockers inside of these 7-Elevens. So if you buy something from a retailer or a shop, or also they have this like kind of, again, like this eBay, Yahoo shopping, you can, they won't mail it to your house, they'll just mail it to the, I guess they drop it off at a 7-Eleven wherever they live, near the person that's selling it, and then that 7-Eleven goes through that network, the delivery network, and ends up at the 7-Eleven across from nearest to where you live. So, and the one thing too about the 7-Elevens here is this, there's a smell, and it's because of they have you know, in 7-Elevens in the US they have like pizzas or hot dogs, and they have pizzas or hot dogs here too, but they also have tea eggs and other kind of like soy-based boiled foods. So that really generates a distinct smell. I think it's pleasurable because I associate it with food. But, you know, for foreigners, it might be a little bit different. Excuse me. You know, it's just a matter of getting used to. And the movie theaters here too, they also sell the tea eggs, which has a particular distinct smell, or scent, I should say. Smells kind of negative connotation, because it is a staple, and it's like basically eggs that are boiled in tea with soy sauce, I think. It smells like soy. If soy sauce had a smell. Oh, GameStop started delivering video games with Postmates. Asian 7-Elevens, yeah, that's the key. You know, when you go to Japan too, man. I mean, and beer here is like super cheap. It's like a dollar, less than $1. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna finish the legs down here. It's gonna cover up part of my chat for a few minutes. So the 7 days after, so 7 days of quarantine in a hotel. And after that, I can, on the 7th day, I can take a PCR or antigen test. And if that comes back negative, I can then leave the quarantine hotel. I've already rented an Airbnb. I still have an additional 7 days of what they call a self health management, where I have to still monitor my daily temperature. There's particular restrictions on what I can do, so I can't go inside of a restaurant. I can't eat in a restaurant. I can go order food and pick it up. I can, if I worked in an office, I could go into the office, which is kind of weird. You know, again, with government regulations, there's always things that are. So you can, if I worked in an office, I can go into the office and work, but like during lunchtime, I would have to eat away from everybody. But you know, since I'm working from home, I mean, I'll probably have like a couple of meetings while I'm here. So I can take public transportation, and I can go like grocery shopping, or but I should avoid crowded spaces and large groups and large group gatherings. So initially, I was also going to come here. There's a comic book convention on the 21st. That's going to fall under the 7 days, so I won't be able to attend that. However, I'm hoping to get somebody to sit at my table, and I'm also going to arrange have an exhibit of Brasa Monkey Prints pages to showcase, and possibly do a workshop, and the primary purpose also to create a mural for this hamburger shop here in Taipei. So, right, okay, go back in with, is there anything here with the face? Blues Boy, how you doing, Blues Boy? Maybe it's Blues Boy. Blues Boy, did you DM me your address? I think I found, right before I left, I found another couple envelopes of artwork that hasn't been sent out yet. I think that might be Hey Bobby K, but Blues Boy, if you have a piece of artwork that's owed to you that you haven't gotten yet, please DM me on Instagram your address. And make sure you put your name, not like Al Capone. So you watched the video about D&D, Matthew, and you noticed that the picture of Courtney about to get stoned. She was in the actual video. It was actually her. I think she was at a Renaissance fair the other week, right? Okay, let's go in. So the 2 micron pens I usually ink with is a 005 and an 8. Drastic difference in the thickness with the 005, so I use this as a 08. This is primarily so I can get larger swaths in a little bit faster. Also, while you're in hotel quarantine here in Taiwan, the local or the police calls you once a day, and they text you to check in on you, make sure you're in the hotel. You're not supposed to leave the hotel room. I have a balcony in my room, so I can go out on the balcony, but if I'm out on the balcony, I have to wear a mask. I think the majority of people are masked up here, even out in the streets in public. The cases have been going up. I think a week ago they were at around a few thousand a day, and now they're around 70,000 a day. So there's a dramatic incremental increase, but that's 70,000 across the entire country. But the population overall of Taiwan is around 23 million. Blues Boy been very busy. Monkey Prince has been extremely busy with deadlines. Last year when I first started the book, I was not very productive, and that really pushed me behind in schedule. Luckily, what's going to happen with the series is there's going to be like a season 1 and a season 2. It's a mini limited series, so there's 12 issues altogether, but they're going to break it up into 2 seasons. I'm working on issue 6, and that will be the end of season 1, which they're going to collect into a trade paperback. And then issue 7 is going to come out. It's going to be another month or so afterwards, so it's going to give me a little bit of a break. Not so much of a break, really, just to allow me some time to catch up and get back on schedule. Because right now, basically, we're drawing the book. I'm drawing the book, it's getting colored, and it's going straight to the printers. So the margin of error is very slim. I mean, there's next to no margin of error. And once it's done, it's out the door. On one hand, it's very exciting. I mean, basically, you guys are getting it fresh out of the oven. But on the other hand, it's also just extremely stressful because there is no leeway. But I think, I mean, for my most of my career, it's kind of been like that. I mean, there have been books that have had extreme lead times. But a lot of the books tend to be right under the gun. Part of that, I think it's the nature of the business. Those cases are going back up in the US, I just hope everybody, doesn't get too sick. And eventually, we're probably all gonna maybe catch it at one point. Ideally, the new variants, hopefully they're not getting stronger, but that they're getting weaker. I don't know. Have you read up on any, Yojimbo, any of the new variants? There's a stealth Omicron, I heard the other day. Are any of the new variants getting stronger or deadlier, or are they just easier to catch, but the cases seem to be more mild? Because I'm watching these games and like these arenas are packed. No one's wearing any masks. Um, Thank you, Blues Boy. There are currently 2 subvariants. Yeah, you don't hear about the variants too much in the news these days anymore. Is there a subvariant to watch out for, or? And also, Japan is opening up. Right now you can go back for business, but apparently I think starting late May, you can go for, they're opening up for tourism. There are, I think, still some guidelines that you have to follow through. They seem milder, but can still mess you up, yeah. I mean, that's the variable, right? No one knows exactly who's gonna get messed up. For the most part, everybody's been kind of okay, but there's still this risk that it could severely, fuck you up. I have a friend that, again, is extremely super healthy. He caught it, not this December, but the first December, back in 2020. And only now is he regaining partial taste and smell. And he had to train himself to re-smell and re-taste things for a year. So, Lanny's an extremely healthy person. He used to ride his bike. No other outside health conditions. He was an avid bicycle rider. He often ride I don't know, 10, 20 miles a day or stuff. And we get a second booster. I'm contemplating it. I'm not well, I will be 50 in a couple of weeks, so then I will qualify for that, right? Is it anybody can get a second booster, or you have to be 50 and over? Unless you work in this industry that puts you at a higher risk. That's why I love talking to Yojimbo, because like he always knows. Also, not limited, okay. So they also don't know the full effects. However, catching could leave you open to long-term effects and potential other problems. Yeah. So I've also heard from family that they had some heart issues afterwards. Not immediately, but a few weeks to a month or so after the shot. So it is also not without its cautions. See if I can finish this foot. All right. I think we're pretty much done here, right? Adding some more highlights. Typically, all this stuff is not no longer downlit. It's more like as if cameras shooting our heroes nowadays. Always be cognizant of, I guess, where your light source is. Where's Sean? I thought he was going to jump on today. Is he in chat, or did I just miss all of his chats? All right, let me go check the front door. See if the lunch has arrived, so I can show you guys the lunch. All right, lunch is here. Well, today it looks like it's pretty much standard meal. Yeah, it's like a cafeteria. It's a paper tray, like a, you got, it looks like a roast pork over rice. This looks like some pork with some cucumbers, some egg with some ham. This looks like bamboo shoots and some kind of vegetables, mustard greens, or I'm sure there's some garlic, sauteed in some garlic, but the bamboo shoots is very healthy. And then what looks like a kind of like a, this is a soup. It's like it's probably a chicken-based tomato soup, or chicken-based chicken soup with some tomato bits in it. So I think that's gonna be it for today. Man, I'm hungry. So I want to thank everybody for jumping on this impromptu Friday night stream. It's actually Saturday morning here. See, here's the booster gold drawing. You guys think I should add anything else to it? I don't want to erase the pencils. I think I'll leave the pencils on there. Symbiote. THC. Good to see you, Symbiote. Zoom out a bit. Okay, let me see if I can zoom out. Or are you saying zoom out for the food? So that's the piece itself. Right? Old school booster gold with the collar. Maybe add a phrase. Like a word balloon here. I bring the studs. Is that what he would say? Interesting. That's an interesting suggestion. All right, well, let me stew on it. Let me think about it. Thank you everybody for watching. It's a quick stream, an hour 20 minutes. Look at that. I will try to stream again. Maybe Tuesday. I'm going to be checking out of the hotel, so it'll be Tuesday morning. Maybe it might work Tuesday morning. Or some other day. It might be a little impromptu again, based on the travel. But thanks for jumping on. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Go Heat. Good night, everybody. Happy holidays. I can't type it. I don't think I can type in happy holidays. Right? Nope. Yeah, I need to sign in an account. Okay. All right, guys. Take care. Stay safe. I'll see you soon.